I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone. Okay. The Geauga County Historical Society will give a presentation update. Good morning.
Morning. If you wish to follow.
Thank you.
Right. This is our annual presentation to the Geauga County Commissioners with respect to the state of the Historical Society. My name's Bill Jackson. I'm the current president of the society. The society has been in existence since 1873. It was active for a number of years, then sort of went dormant for many years, and then was revived in 1938. So we are 141 years old in history and 76 years since we actually have the property that's known as Century Village, at least portions of it. During the past year, the society has operated without an executive director. The sole reason for that is that we do not have enough funds to pay one. So, in effect, what's happened is the board of directors has not only taken over its board duties, but is managing a lot of what would be the day-to-day duties as well. As far as the overall personnel of the society, we have 2 full-time employees. We have a business office manager and we have a facilities supervisor. He has a part-time assistant and we have a part-time store manager in our crossroads store. Then we pay about, I think it's 9 going on 10. We're currently training a 10th interpreter by the hour to do the school tours and the public tours. And then we have one woman who will do cleaning of more of our public buildings. So we don't have a large staff, but we have a number of people who are either employed on a full-time or a part-time basis. We do most of our activity through our volunteers, and we are very blessed to have a goodly number of people who volunteer. We have well over 100 people last year who took part in numerous activities, whether it was restoration of buildings, support of our festivals, maintaining our collections, etc. In fact, we started a program a couple years ago where we recognized people who give over 500 hours in a given year, and we had 6 people qualify this last year. So we definitely run on volunteers. We are a nonprofit 501c3 corporation. None of the officers or directors are paid, and we meet monthly as a board. And in fact, we met last night and had elections for our regular board members. And then our executive committee meets on the off 2 weeks if there's any issues to be raised. We are a membership organization. We have various classes of membership, including individuals, couples, families, and corporations. And we're always looking for new members. At one time, the society had well over 600 members. We're now down to about 300. We're facing the same issues that almost every organization does that's a membership organization. There's just not that level of interest in being a part of a formal organization. So we continue to have campaigns to keep and recruit new members. We do operate under a business plan. We create an annual budget in the fall, and the board approves that. It is a balanced budget. At least we attempt to balance the budget. Our primary expenses are those employee benefits, salary, and otherwise that we pay to those people I mentioned. Utilities, we have 22 buildings that are over 100 years old. So,
how many?
22 that are over 100 years old, plus another 6 or 8 support buildings. Not all those are heated at comfort level throughout the winter, but they still have to be maintained because there's collections in all those winter. We have dehumidifiers that we run to control the humidity and so forth. So your utility costs are pretty significant, particularly in a market time when a lot of utilities prices are going up. Obviously, we have insurance, but we do have a farm operation, which we're currently trying to restore to basically its past level. We don't run it really for profit as much as a demonstration farm to be a companion for our tours and other activities. Children just love animals, and it's very beneficial as far as attracting families and so forth and so on. We do maple sugaring ourselves, and this was pretty much an average season. Our primary revenue sources are admission fees to various events, our membership fees, our Heritage Partner Program, which is where we seek and hopefully recruit corporations and individuals to support specific buildings on the ground. As you might imagine, almost all these buildings are under some sort of surveillance for continuous maintenance. Not every year, but there's certainly a cycle you have to go under. Right now we're rebuilding many windows and doors that have unfortunately been ravaged by the weather over the years. We also receive and have received support from the county commissioners. And as I say, we have some revenue stream from our farm production. Just recently, with the Ohio Capital Improvements Fund, we did get a grant. I'll talk about that in a little more detail in a moment. So we will have some funds, but those obviously are specifically designated funds for projects that we will be working on. In the 2013 calendar year, there's just a list of the various items there. I won't speak to every one. There are several there that we added in the year, including our wine tasting. Last Memorial Day weekend, we did a World War II tribute event, which turned out to be very successful. We had over 100 veterans who actually were able to attend our festivities and a dinner in their honor. We did a clam and steak bake in the fall that we hadn't done, and then we expanded our speaker series to have 6 speakers on a monthly basis, one per month. And then we revived our Christmas open house. The other items have been a lot of our traditional programs. During last year, we completed the entire internal restaging of the cookhouse, which is an older farmhouse built in 1806 that was moved from the Kent State campus many years ago. It was in need of a lot of refurbishment. That building has now been totally painted, repaired, and all the artifacts in there are 1820 or older. So we kind of purified the presentation that we're doing. The Hitchcock house, we did the same level of work on. That's Peter Hitchcock's house, who was the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court in the mid-1850s, and that's been staged for a period of 1853 and earlier. In a business strategic move, we combined the business office and our CrossFit store so that the public would have one place to go to rather than 2 different buildings, because there was always confusion about who they wanted to do business with and where they wound up going. So they are both in one location at this point. We did some major exterior painting, both of our Schanauer Library and the bandstand. And we raised funds to begin a project later this year of the apothecary. We had great cooperation with the Geauga County Medical Association on that effort. This is the building that we used to have the portable steel jail in, but we are converting that to a 3-purpose building. It'll be Dr. Corey's old office. It'll be an old-fashioned drugstore, and it'll be a history of medicine in Geauga County. So those will be a new combination for us. This year, you'll see again a longer list of activities, many of which are the same as last year. This Memorial Day weekend, we are doing a rib burn-off. Now, this is a little bit astray of a historical mission, because there really isn't a historical time. But our philosophy here was we need to attract people to the grounds of Century Village who have never been there before. And so this will actually be an event that's more of a family social event than any form of historical presentation. In June, we're doing a wedding event. The society actually has a wonderful collection of textiles. And this wedding event will be a demonstration of presentation of wedding dresses over 100 years. There'll be one for every decade. There'll be a talk. There'll be a wedding breakfast. There'll be a lot of things with it. It's pre-ticketed, probably mostly for women, but it's an opportunity for us to showcase one of our better collections that we have. And then this fall, we'll be doing a Downton Abbey look-alike tea. I guess you can't use that term without a violated copyright, but in any event, that will be, again, hopefully we'll have people coming in costume, and we're serving tea in several of our restored buildings. So those are our add-ons for this year. So far this year, we have just completed the restaging of our Bainbridge store. Now, the Bainbridge store is the historical building as opposed to the Crossroads store, which is our commercial store operations. And that building has always been on our school tours and the public tours, and is a very popular building, and that has been totally renovated. I think one of the things I'm most pleased with, there's a tin ceiling in there. And this tin ceiling has been punctured over and over the years with holes and whatever. And we had one of our volunteers who repaired over 30 holes. And if anyone can find 3 of those repairs, I'd be very surprised. He did a wonderful job with that.
I'd like to state, the reason he's so proud of these projects, he did a lot of the work himself.
Bill?
Yeah, Bill did, him and
Oh,
his
you're
wife.
tinsmith.
And they look fantastic. They really look nice.
And then the other major project that we did over the winter and into this early spring was the Boughton House, which is a house of George and Lola Boughton, who were merchants and bankers in Burton. And this house is staged in the 1870s. So each of the houses has a different significance. And that, again, there were 10 rooms that were totally repainted, repapered. In some cases, there was replastering done, etc. So these are major projects. Each one of those 2 projects probably had, I haven't totaled it up, and my guess is 400 to 500 volunteer hours in doing the work we did. Another aspect is we've revived the Historian, which is our membership newsletter and educational program. We did just 1 issue last year. We will do 3 issues this year. So we're trying to make membership a more valuable item. And then 13D is the Ohio Capital Improvement Grant through the introduction by John Eklund. He let us know that the state was reopening the Capital Improvement Fund, and this happened to be, I guess, the even year when nonprofits are able to apply. We identified 3 specific projects that we obviously did not have funds to do absent a grant, and made an application, and just on April 1st were awarded $56,000 for the combined 3 projects. The projects are, we are doing a repair and renovation of our old white barn, which is one of the original buildings on Century Village. Most of the buildings in Century Village have been moved there from different places in the county. The white barn has been there for 150 years. So it's a historic barn. Ohio has a historic barn program. We had to do some shoring up of the building. We'll do some re-roofing, and we'll put in some handicapped accessible walkways with those capital funds. The second project is our bond building, which is our activities building. We hold a lot of our larger meetings there. We hold a pancake breakfast there. We use our wine tasting will be there. And then we rent that space to the public for wedding receptions and other activities. We are going to use those funds to improve the heating system, which has been problematic over the years, and to put in a sound abatement system, because it's a very loud room because it's a metal ceiling. So we're going to do a sound abatement. So that's the capital issue there. And then the third project is one that has kind of been sitting by the wayside for several years. We built the beginnings of the Ohio Maple Museum on our back hill looking east, and then we never had funds to complete it. So we now have, we believe, enough funds to complete the actual interior construction. We'll probably have to go out and do a fundraising effort to complete the museum portion. But the building is really divided into thirds. 2/3 will be a maple museum. And interestingly enough, Ohio does not have any maple museum at this time. So this would be the first and only if we can get it done. The other 1/3, we will move our sugaring operation, which is now in a sugar house down the hill to the southeast. And we'll move that to the east third of this building. It's actually a tiered building, so we can have it as an observation deck so people can actually watch the operation. So that's the portion we definitely want and need to get done this summer because we want to move that operation up to the 2015 season. And there's part of the, again, this grant will allow us to build a sap collection shed, wood shed, the cupola, do the rebuilding of the arch, and move the equipment up. So, and then beyond that, we'll see how far the funds go. Again, I suspect that most of the work in actually creating the museum will be done by volunteers. We'll create the displays, we'll appeal to the community for additional artifacts, etc.
You might mention City and Osborne donating something.
Yes, and we have actually approached again some of our big corporate neighbors to we'll pour a concrete floor, and we have both Sidley's and Osborne who will be assisting us with contributions of that. And then lastly, there's a series of projects that we'll be working on. I just mentioned the first three, the White Barn renovation, the Bond building, and the Maple Museum. Another smaller project is, we renovated the cookhouse last year, but there was a small shed next to it. Merriman Cook was a cobbler shoemaker by trade, and we're going to convert that little shed into a cobbler shop because we have enough artifacts that we can actually stage it. So it's not a major project, but again, anything we do is cobbled together. And then, as I mentioned, we raised the funds last summer for the apothecary project, and we will begin that project this year. A couple structural things. We're reviewing and updating our Constitution. We do operate under the Constitution and bylaws. And more and more, we're actually trying to move a lot of our activities from the board doing everything to board standing committee. You can get more done, and our meetings don't last nearly so long if you can work it that way. Obviously, our goal is to work toward a balanced budget, to increase membership. The Traveling Trunk Program is a way to expand our school education program. We have dual missions. Our first mission is to preserve the history of Geauga County through collection of artifacts, written documents, textiles, and buildings. And then our second mission is to educate the population about Geauga County's history. And we have Pioneer School, we have the public tours, we have the school tours. This Traveling Trunk Program is, I guess, an attempt to recognize the reality of the financial crunch in schools, and where we would actually go out to them. They don't have to get a bus, they don't have to take an extra hour or two of transportation time. We go to them, give them a smaller display. They don't get to see buildings, but they can get a historical presentation. So that's a program that we're working on. And then one issue that we constantly confront, and it relates to the membership issue as well, is there's many people in our county who don't even know that there's the Geauga County Historical Society and its 65-acre plot with 22nd century buildings on it. So that's another issue of trying to broaden that message and have more people know. I think in years past, when the population probably was more generational and permanent, people knew it. I think we're much more transitional population now, and certainly people, I say this because I think it's a fact, in the western part of the county are very unaware of what we have. Any questions?
No. Pretty complete job, thank you very much.
I think your historical grounds are so much like what we have over in, where they have the place, is it in Wilmington?
Williamsburg.
Williamsburg. It's so much like that, on a smaller scale.
Mhm.
But,
We can have pride in local.
I was
local
surprised the first time I had gone there, and I thought, well, just like Williamsburg. A little easier to get to.
Come out, Ralph, I'll give you a tour.
All right, sounds
And
good.
YouTube it.
Yeah, you'd like it.
Thank you.
Should
very
we
much.
wear our
Thank you.
work clothes?
Appreciate
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes, because we're always working.
All right, thanks for the presentation. The next item that we're going to have is the Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute the minutes for the meeting of April 8th.
We have the Corsa?
Courses
I'm
is
sorry,
number one.
okay. All right, sorry about that. The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve the County Risk Sharing Authority Incorporated Course Insurance Program renewal for the period of May 1st of 2014 through April 30th of 2015, and further authorize the payment of $370,512. How are you?
Hi. Good to see you.
Again, with good news.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're $7,000 less than
Last
June
year.
last year.
Of course, last year had a very successful year. As far as Geauga County is concerned, just a brief summary of what happened to the program as far as insurance coverages. Last year, our property coverage was round figures 157 million. This year, it's 162 million. We had an increase in our vehicles from 227 to 236. Our payroll increased approximately 200,000, which affects our liability rates. The Geauga County, Corsa program, when I was speaking about the success of the program, the Board of Directors, which is comprised of commissioners similar to yourselves, looked at the financials of Corsa and returned like a dividend back to the members. It's not a dividend, it's a return of equity, okay, to the tune of $1.6 million. And of that, Geauga County's portion was about $29,000 reduction in the rate. Then in addition to that, thanks to Colleen's efforts in loss control, they offer a loss control incentive program. It's totally voluntary. You don't have to comply with this, but if you go through all the procedures and all the recommendations and comply with them, they allow the county an additional credit, and that came to almost over $9,000 for the county compared to $8,000 last year. So we had a reduction there of almost $38,000. It also should be said, thanks to the loss control efforts, our contributions to the loss control funds within the Corsa program were reduced, okay? Because our losses have come down, our frequency and severity has come down. So we're enjoying some good experience right now, and that's
Experience is good.
definitely affecting our rates on that. So it's a very good year.
Okay, if there's any questions, if we have the motion, I've already read it.
Okay, I'll have that motion, make that motion.
Okay.
Second?
Commissioner Sweetie?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spiller?
Aye, motion stands approved.
Good to see you again.
Good to see
Thank
you.
Like
you
it
so
when
much.
you
Thanks,
reduce
Colleen,
us.
great job.
Thanks.
Thanks for your time.
So now we'll go ahead with the Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute the minutes for the meeting of April 8th, 2014.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Commissioner Sweetie?
Abstain.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spiller?
Aye. Motion approved. Number 4 is approving the meetings from the April 15th, 2014 meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Commissioner Sweetie?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spiller?
Abstain. Okay, number 5, the Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute the resolution 14-058 itemizing the financials for the meeting of April 22nd, 2014. Heidi, how are you?
I have.
Okay.
the financials today include an appropriation transfer from the contingency account to return appropriations to the sheriff's office for the reimbursements deposited into the general fund. Cash transfers out of the general fund for portions of 2014 funding for the county home, the soil and water conservation district, and CASA. Cash transfer for the 2014 workers' compensation premium payment. Purchase order for Corsa program costs for property, auto, and liability insurance in the amount of $370,512. Travel request for the Department of Emergency Services and Job and Family Services. Payment to the City of Chardon for the first and second quarter 2014 police prosecutor salary contribution in the amount of $17,500. Payment to Knox Company for the purchase of Knox boxes for the Department of Aging in the amount of $10,000. And a payment to CBK Enterprises for the purchase of a replacement steamer for the Safety Center kitchen in the amount of $16,014.54.
Okay,
Do you have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sweeney?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye, motion approved, thank you. Okay. Number 6, if we could have the community economic development. Hi Kelly, how are you?
How are you?
Good.
Number 6, we have permission to advertise for the bids for the fairground sidewalk improvements and parking facilities under grant PF-13. We will be repaving some of the walkways near the small grandstand, and then we'll be paving ADA parking, which there is currently no paved ADA parking in that area at all in the fairgrounds. So that's what we'll be doing for that project.
Okay, any questions? That's from,
Good.
okay, if we want to go ahead and read number 6.
The Office of Community and Economic Development is requesting the board grant permission to advertise for bids for the Geauga County Fairgrounds sidewalk improvements and parking facilities under grant number B-F-13-1EZ-1 to be held Wednesday, May 7th, 2014 at 2:00 p.m. Notice of this bid opening will be advertised on April 24th, 2014 and on the county website.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sweeney?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye, motion stands approved. And for number 7,
Number 7, as you know, we lost our administrative secretary at the end of February, and we've been going through the process of reviewing applications and doing interviews. We interviewed Donna Weber, and we believe that, and we hope that she'll be a great fit to our office. She definitely is, has the experience that we were looking for and the knowledge of the software and the programs that we will need.
Good.
we could read number 7.
The Office of Community and Economic Development is requesting the board approve hiring Donna Weber to the position of full-time administrative secretary, number 1403, to be effective May 6, 2014, at a rate of $11.55 per hour. After the successful completion of a 180-day probationary period, the rate will increase to $12.16 per hour.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sweeney?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye, motion stands approved, thank you, Kelly. And then, somebody from the juvenile court division. Good morning.
Good morning.
Aye.
What we're looking to do at this point is take carryover money that we have from the Reclaim Ohio subsidy grant, and rather than returning it to the state of Ohio because they put caps on what we're able to carry over, we would like to keep that money here in Geauga County and spend it on client services. What we've decided to do is to fund a placement at the youth center, Geauga Therapeutic Youth Center, for a period of 45 days. And that will free up some of the money from Family First Council for other services or other clients to kind of spread the money out. But at this point, it's a very complicated formula that they figured how we earn reclaim money, and then when we were keeping all the money, they said, no, we didn't intend for people to keep it, we need to spread it around. So there is a cap on what we can keep, and again, we just like to use what we've earned for our kids. That's what we're asking for today.
Okay. If we could have a read on number 8.
The Common Pleas Juvenile Court is requesting the board approve and authorize the president of the board to execute the juvenile court grant amendment form fiscal accountability attachment A to reallocate carryover funds to the 2014 fiscal year subsidy grant in the amount of $9,225.45.
Make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sweeney?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye, motion stands approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day now. Okay, the Geauga engineer. Joe Patel.
Morning, Joe.
We have 3 contracts on here this morning, asking you to approve and execute. First one is to Cargill Paving for Mumford Road. Our estimate was was $700,000, and their bid was $612,833.
Big
so
saving.
very favorable. And you want it, well, I guess want to do this one at a time. It's 3.37 miles of road, resurfacing, traffic will be maintained, so there's no real problems as far as traffic goes.
Okay. If we could read number 9.
The County Engineer's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute the unit price contract with Cargill Paving Company for the asphalt resurfacing of Mumford Road, CH 24, sections E through H in Troy Township in the amount of $612,833.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sweeney?
Abstain?
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye. Motion stands approved. Number 10, Joe.
Okay, yeah, the next one is to approve and execute the unit price contract to Oglesby Construction for the application of polyester pavement markings. They represented the lowest and best bid.
It's polyester pavement.
Markings.
Get those suits out again.
Yeah, no, not leisure.
I'm
suits.
just kidding.
Yeah. And the estimate on that was $185,000. It came in at about $162,000, so we did okay there too. That's pretty much countywide. We do that every year. We do a portion of our roads. We try to get them every other year.
Oh, where's that?
Approximately how many miles would that be? Do you know a number?
Well, center line,
You say
actually-
countywide, so.
Yeah, well, we have roughly 240 miles of road, and this is just under half of our mileage, so be 100, it's under half, so it's about 100 miles of center line, but you have to double that with edge line, so about 300 miles of edge line, so you're talking almost 400 miles of striping.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It wears off. Do you
It
think
does.
that-
Well,
do you
between
think
the
they're
plows
using
and the
heavier
cars
paint?
and-
Or do
Well-
you think it's lighter or?
Well, no, there's different factors.
Yeah.
When you stripe a new pavement, the bleeding of the asphalt will take the first year off pretty quick.
Yeah.
We have other areas where, we look at 606 Washington Street all the way out west, where you have the turn lane. Cars are always driving across it, and it wears it off every year. We do that one every year. So
Every year.
there's multiple reasons, and
Sure.
we kind of know the rotation, and we take a look at them and try to keep them up to standard.
Snow plows take it off?
The snow plows do somewhat, but, with the center line out there, we do get out there, but really the brunt of the force of the plow doesn't get on that too bad. So, and this is thinner, this isn't like a thermoplastic that sticks up that does get worn off. Here down south, you can get away with using a thermoplastic, last 5, 6, 7 years, no problem. But here we tear it right off with the plows. Wouldn't take long. So that's that one. Oglesby's done work for us before, they do a great job. We've always been pleased with them.
All right. Well, if we could read number 10 then.
The County Engineer's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute the unit price contract with Ogilvy Construction Incorporated for the application of polyester pavement markings for various roads for the year 2014 in the amount of $162,279.75.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sweeney?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye, motion stands approved. Number 11, Joe Chagrin.
Yeah, the next one is also to approve and execute the contract for the paving, resurfacing of Jug Street. That's from 422 up to Patch. And that's with Spring Valley Paving. We have not worked with them. They are a local company. They're out off Munn Road. We did our homework, asked them to give us a bunch of background information, and we believe that they'll do a good job for us. And but this will be their first job for us.
Oh, very nice. It'd be
They
interesting
came,
to
they
see how
came
that
in,
happens.
right, and they came in good. The estimate was 400, they came in at 300, almost 357,000, so substantial savings there.
All right. We could read number 11.
The County Engineer's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute the unit price contract with Spring Valley Paving Incorporated for the asphalt resurfacing of Jug Street, CH 46, section C through E in Troy Township in the amount of $356,724.50.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sweeney?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye, motion stands approved. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Joe. Have a good day.
You too.
Okay, the Sheriff's Office.
Welcome.
Sheriff, good to see you. How's
Do you want to shake hands or no? We did that
What's that day?
once. You don't want to shake hands more than one time. I washed it.
We come to you this morning with what we call the VAWA grant. It's the Violence Against Women's Grant. We've been awarded the grant we previously had applied. This is a split grant to coincide with both the state fiscal year as well as the counties. So the grant period is from January 1st, 2014 to May 31st, 2014. Total amount is $19,997.61 for that period. Just shy of $15,000 from the Ohio Office of Criminal Justice Service, with a local match split between the Geauga County General Fund and the Law Enforcement Trust Fund, which again is that fund where we take proceeds or profit seizures from criminal enterprises and
Very nice.
use it to further law enforcement.
Okay. Any questions? You can read number 12.
The Sheriff's Office is requesting the Board approve and authorize the President of the Board to execute the Ohio Office of Criminal Justice Services, OCJS, Sub-Grant Award Agreement for the Geauga County Stop Violence Against Women Act, VAWA 2012 WF-DA28214A in the amount of $19,997.61, $14,998.21 from the Ohio Office of Criminal Justice Services with a local match of $4,999.40, $2,435.51 from the Geauga County General Fund, and $2,563.89 from the Law Enforcement Trust Fund for the period January 1st, 2014 through May 31st, 2014.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sweeney?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye, motion stands approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before
Oh,
Sheriff and Mr. Hoagland step down, I wonder if, as a result of accepting that fund, if you can briefly explain to us what responsibilities go along with acceptance of those monies.
This is a reimbursement grant, which will reimburse us for salaries
For
put
salary.
forward to investigate crimes against women. Violence Against Women Act typically would be a domestic violence. Is a good example of that. Another example might be rape, other crimes of violence against women. And
How
it
about
allows-
in the workplace?
Pardon me?
How about employees in the workplace?
As long as the threshold needs to be a crime. So certainly a crime could occur in a workplace, but more typically what we do find is that crimes of this violent nature
It is right.
more often occur, unfortunately, in a home.
Okay, but the requirement then is to document those events and, or how are records kept regarding that?
Investigation would be a criminal investigation, which would start with certainly the reporting of a crime. Deputies would respond to the crime, and then the subsequent follow-up that leads to identifying a culprit,
Okay.
a suspect, as well as building a criminal case
Trace of-
and the presentation of that case to both the prosecutor's office and ultimately to court to lead to accountability for the,
Is LEADS involved in any way, shape, or form?
excuse me?
The organization or the program known as LEADS, L-E-A-D-S. Is there any involvement with that, with this particular grant?
I'm not aware of any.
Okay, thank you.
That name doesn't click with
Okay.
something with that, so,
Thank you.
okay, good.
Thank you.
Yep, yep.
Thank you.
Okay, number 13, we've got Department of Water Resources. Morning.
Morning, Commissioners. First up, we have first, Doug and Jerry are tied up with some conference calls and stuff with Thompson, so they apologize for not being able to be here, but I'm here in their stead. And we have up first the promotion of Samantha Burley to Accounts Receivable Assistant. If you remember, a couple weeks ago, we brought this to you to go ahead and advertise it internally. Samantha's been basically doing this accounts receivable position on and off and as part of some of her daily duties now for a while. She has the experience, she has the ability and the knowledge, and so she was.
She's a four-year degree.
She does have a 4-year college degree, yeah, she is a Kent alumni just like myself. So,
Oh, Kent.
yes.
Me too.
So, we wanna go ahead and, get her promoted into this position in order to utilize her legitimately as, what she's been doing for us already, so.
Okay.
Alrighty, we can read number 13.
The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve the promotion of Samantha Burley to the position of Accounts Receivable Assistant number 2332 to be effective April 14, 2014 at a rate of $14.42 per hour.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sweeney?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye, motion approved. Number 14.
This next one, we've been down to 4 guys and a supervisor down at our McFarland wastewater treatment plant for some time now, since Jordan McGee left down there. Which is a difficult thing to do when you have a 24-hour operation. So we've been looking to fill this for a little while now with a maintenance technician. We got about 16 applications, interviewed about half of those. Had a previous candidate, but the background check, which is, I would recommend everybody do background checks on potential employees. So we did find a number of things that not only did he not inform us of originally, but that were serious enough to disqualify him. So after doing some more interviews, we found Sean Maruna, who is the final candidate. Background checks, driving record, everything checked out very well. He came highly recommended from all of his references that he left us. He's resident of Burton, which is always nice to hire someone local. And he's relatively close to the garage as well. So
Plus.
that's who we intend to hire as long as you approve it.
All right. Any questions?
Yeah, I know it's
CDL?
contingent on him getting
Getting
a
a CDL,
CDL.
correct.
Which has a during the 180-day probationary period.
Yes.
Is that doable? Does that look like he can do it, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know how long it takes him to get that training.
This is also something that is kind of determined by the union contract as well.
Okay.
So they are permitted to get some of these conditions of employment during their probationary period. And we actually have the ability to increase that, but during this last union contract negotiation, we actually took that out. Because they have a 180-day probationary period now, before it was only 120 days. And we could do 2 30-day extensions. Now that it's 180 days, we took the provision for the 2 30-day extensions out. So he definitely has to get it during the 180 days, but we haven't had a single person that has tried to get that and failed and ended up having to be fired as a result of it. So it's very doable.
Doable.
So, oh yeah, definitely.
So he started already doing it?
Thank you.
Started,
Well, I'm sure,
Let's
I
hope.
talked to him just this
Yeah.
morning because he's going for his pre-employment drug test, and I
Yeah.
made sure he understood, you know, you gotta get the
Gotta have it.
CDL during the probationary period, and he was in agreement to everything, so.
Good.
All right, if we could read number 14 then.
The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve hiring Sean Maruna to the position of maintenance technician number 2328 at the McFarland wastewater treatment plant to be effective May 5th, 2014 at a rate of $17.11 per hour with a 180-day probationary period during which he is required to obtain a commercial driver's license, CDL.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sweeney?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye, motion stands approved. Thank you
very
very
much.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Adrian.
Okay, the maintenance department, Glenn. Morning.
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 Good afternoon. Yeah.
Going to a wedding?
That's his James Bond.
But
I don't know about that.
You got some dirt
About
on
that,
it.
right?
No, he didn't
Did you
know that.
notice that?
Yeah, I did. That's from
Well,
this morning.
that's to
He's
show
a
you that he
working man.
works.
He's a working man.
Even when dressed up.
The first one is for, we got 4 pieces of parcel down there by the hospital, and then a couple over by the county home. This is gonna be for Timmons, Mr. Timmons, to do some farming down there. He wants to plant some soybeans. It's gonna, we put it at $50 an acre, so that'll cover the taxes and everything for all that, so.
But he's done it before.
Actually, he hasn't, Les
Not this
Ober.
particular parcel,
Correct, Les Ober had it,
Les had it.
correct.
That's why.
Les got out of it, and now Tim's gonna do it,
No, you said this is our property?
yes. Yes,
Are
sir.
we paying taxes on that property?
When it goes to farming,
When you,
Okay.
Yeah.
because you can now have income coming in.
Oh, okay,
Correct.
Yeah.
all right.
You don't pay it, but as soon as you rent it out, then it becomes
Correct.
a revenue stream.
Okay.
That's the only problem.
Actually, Heidi gave me a summary on that, and the one 313, the one ends in 313 was CAUV, so it was lower, it's 276. But the other ones, actually, the other ones were several, three of those are the four of those are the parcels along Ravenwood going from that parcel we sold to the hospital down to Aquila.
Okay.
So it's gonna be
From that
fun.
cemetery.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, yeah, I didn't know that, so that's, well, it's good though, it gives the local farmers some place to harvest crops and stuff too, so I think it's a win situation.
correct.
Well, I mean, I always look at that as he's gotta mow that down before he
gotta kinda get it ready.
tills the soil.
Right.
And so that cuts down on the brush and so on that would otherwise get
Unless-
stronger.
right. Unless the last couple, Mr. Ober, the last couple of years is, fertilized and weed controlled and the whole works on all that down there.
It's being
so-
used for something worthwhile.
so, yeah.
So do we pay taxes on the property on the old Pope farm, or Pope house,
On Pope Home,
or Pope home?
I believe we do, yeah. 'cause it's
Maybe
just-
on the part where, do we
Because
still
we're
have students?
utilizing that as an income.
Well, we get,
No.
I mean, all we're getting is the stream credits when we sell them, so we're not
Yeah.
really, we're
Which
not really
could be
utilizing it for.
200,000 up to $1 million
Yeah.
in stream
Sure.
credits we
Yeah,
sell them.
I'll look that up, we'll see what it is.
But not right
We have a
now.
whole schedule back in the office of what we pay on every parcel.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, if we could read number 15.
The Maintenance Department is requesting the board approve and execute a lease agreement between the Geauga County Board of Commissioners and Jim Timmons to perform farming cropping activities on portions of county home property, parcel number 13-705200, 13-015313, 13-015512, 13-015513, 13-015514, and 13-015515 for the period May 1st, 2014 through April 30th, 2017, in the amount of $50 per acre per year for a total of 34 acres.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
Commissioner Sweetie?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye, motion stands approved on this, then Killer 16, 17, and 18 together.
All right, sir.
Together?
This is for the lawn mowing contract, we do purple mow, all right, not knowing what the season's gonna be, is it gonna be long or is it gonna be short? For number 16, came in at 88.60, last year was 89.80,
Oh, it's better.
a little bit better. 17, 12.5, last year was at 12.8, and then, 18 was, it's 9.7, and it came in at 7.2 last year, but I added post 2 for the
Oh.
lawn mowing cutting
Sure.
into that contract, and that's why I jumped it up
Yeah, it's not-
$1,500.
Yeah.
It's not the same
negligible. Yeah.
contract.
Correct. So, like I said, you're looking at $4,000, $6,000, $4,000 just to cut out all our grass in a year. These three are 3-year or 2-year contracts.
That's good.
So, yeah, I can't.
Can't complain.
You can't do it internally for that price.
You'd have to have people
Maintenance
working there.
and buying equipment and everything, you can't cut stuff.
Can't get guests anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we don't even know what gasoline is gonna be.
So,
All right, if we could read 16, 17, and 18 then.
Maintenance Department is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Fiore's Group LLC to perform lawn maintenance service at the Geauga County Courthouse, the 208 East Park parking lot, and 470 Center Street for the year 2014 and 2015 in an amount not to exceed $8,860. The Maintenance Department is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Fiore's Group LLC to perform lawn maintenance service at the Department of Emergency Services, Pleasant Hill County Home, Department on Aging, Ravenwood, Veterans Memorial, and Pleasant Hill County Home Cemetery for the year 2014 and 2015 in an amount not to exceed $12,510. The Maintenance Department is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Fiore's Group LLC to perform lawn maintenance service at the Geauga County Safety Center and Sheriff's Post Number 2 for the year 2014 and 2015 in an amount not to exceed $9,750.
I'll make that motion. Motions.
Second.
Commissioner Sweetie?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye, motion stand approved. And number 19 and 20.
19 and 20 is the carpet cleaning, what we do is bring professionals in. These are, once again, 2-year contracts. We do in-house where the major areas need it, foyers and stuff like that. But when it comes to the professional, they come in and they do everything, so. Did we use everything? No, we didn't. Like I said, these are service contracts, so they help us out.
Okay.
And the first one's for the safety center and the second one's for the rest of the county buildings.
Okay. 19 and 20.
The Maintenance Department is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Alcon Group Incorporated to perform carpet cleaning service for Geauga County Safety Center buildings for year 2014 and 2015 in an amount not to exceed $5,000. The Maintenance Department is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Alcon Group Incorporated to perform carpet cleaning service for Geauga County buildings for year 2014 and 2015 in an amount not to exceed $20,000.
Yeah, make those motions.
Second.
Commissioner Sweetie?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye, both stand approved. And number, we've got 21.
21's Auburn Fence Corporation. This is for fences, chain link fences and that we have throughout the county. Anything that gets damaged is a 2-year contract. This way we can call them in and get those fences fixed. We use this also at our tower sites if we need to.
Okay. 21.
The Maintenance Department is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Auburn Fence Corporation to perform fence repairs, replacement, and installations as needed at various Geauga County building sites for year 2014 and 2015 in an amount not to exceed $5,000.
Make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sweetie?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye, motion approved. Number 22.
This one's with Nolan Door. We've been replacing about 3 to 4 doors every year throughout the county, just outer doors and trying to get them up. There's a preventive maintenance thing, doing a contract with them in the next couple of years.
These are man doors?
Yes, sir.
Like our door over here, the spring is broke up the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like it just cracked out of that arm.
Okay.
If you just put a new arm on it, it'd be okay.
Yeah,
If you could
look
do
at
it.
So
Not that
most of
that's
that-
the only thing you
yeah.
gotta worry about.
Most of the stuff we try to do in-house.
Yeah,
This is for
I know you
replacing
do.
the doors and all that,
Sure.
so.
All right.
I'll look that up.
Number 22.
The Maintenance Department is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Nolan Door and Hardware Company Incorporated to perform door installations and maintenance service for Geauga County buildings for year 2014 and 2015 in an amount not to exceed $15,000.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sweetie?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye, motion approved. Number 23.
This is for our generator down at the safety center. This is for the preventive maintenance service that we're gonna have for the next 2 years with them down there. So, once again, the preventive maintenance is only about $4,500. I put a little extra in it in case something breaks and we need to get it replaced and the whole works.
Fair enough.
How many do we have down there? 2?
We only have one,
One down there.
correct?
But it's big.
Yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
does
Well,
the
yeah,
whole
Yeah,
center.
it's a big generator.
Yeah.
Not something you're gonna run your house on.
Oh,
Probably.
Oh, you could.
Plus your neighbors.
More than that,
Plus the whole
plus the whole
neighborhood.
street.
It's a big generator.
So,
Yeah, it's a big thing.
All right, 23.
The Maintenance Department is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Ohio Cat Power Systems to perform preventive maintenance on the Geauga County Safety Center generator for year 2014 and 2015 in an amount not to exceed $14,000.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sweetie?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye, motion approved. 24 and 25.
this is with Ash's Mayfield window cleaning. Once again, this is a 2-year contract, both of these. What we've done here is, like I said, we take care of the basic throughout the year, but once a year they come in, they clean the inside, the outside, and the screens on
That's big.
on all the buildings. So you're looking at
Tedious.
per year like $12,000 for all the windows. That's going up on the 2nd and 3rd floor of the courthouse, and up on the 2nd and 3rd floor of the annex,
How do they do
and
those?
inside and outside. And a lot of times they come in on the weekends. And
Do they scaffold to get up there, or do they just
They
cross?
ladder and safety gear and all that goes.
That's tough.
So,
That's gotta be tough.
You apparently assigned me a new middle initial.
I don't put those contracts together, sir.
Okay.
The department puts those contracts together.
Well, somebody put me, gave me.
They try to get her to do it, but we say, no, that's your responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, somebody gave me a new middle initial here.
All right,
You
24
can
and
just-
25.
The maintenance department is requesting the board approve an executed service contract agreement with Ashes Mayfield Window Cleaning Company to perform yearly window cleaning service for Geauga County buildings for year 2014 and 2015 in an amount not to exceed $25,000. The maintenance department is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Ashes Mayfield Window Cleaning Company to perform yearly window cleaning service for the Geauga County Safety Center buildings for year 2014 and 2015 in an amount not to exceed $5,000.
I'll make those motions.
Second.
Commissioner Sweetie?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye, motion stands approved. And
That-
number 26.
Now, the tree service has been with us for a couple of years now. Another one, this is 2 year, when a tree dies or something, and it's too big for our department, then we go ahead and we call these guys out and get the tree cut down, or whatever we need, grinding stumps or anything like that, they handle that.
Okay, 26.
The maintenance department is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Valor Tree Service to perform services for Geauga County grounds for year 2014 and 2015 in an amount not to exceed $80,000.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sweetie?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye, motion approved.
Mr. Vernick, I have a request. A person who, father designed the flag here, they were asking, they're coming in for the Maple Festival. I got a long-winded conversation, and they would like to see their flag up on the pole. Could we do that during the
In the
Maple Festival in honor of their father?
I'll look into it and.
I'd appreciate it.
see what we can-
It's this flag, but I don't know where the original one is, but
It's, I think the original's up in the courthouse in
You
Ray.
may have one in Building 8.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I think we
But
do have-
these people don't live here anymore, but this is the one thing, their father had designed that. And if they're coming, the whole
Mr.
family's
Dietrich.
coming in, Mr. D, yeah. And if we could fly that during the festival, I think that would satisfy them.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Glenn. Have a
Thanks.
good day.
You too, sir.
Okay, Dave, do you want to speak on number
Yeah.
27?
Number 27, a very bright young lady by the name of McCullough, the first name, LaForce. And she lives in Burton, and she attends Lake Catholic, so she met Heidi's, that met Heidi's specifications. Good Lake
Okay.
Catholic girl.
Yeah.
She volunteers, she helps out at St. Helens with the youth program and all that, and she is in the Geauga Growth Partnership internship program, but she's being, my recommendation would be she be hired here as summer help, but she'll be exposed to a variety of our positions helping here and perhaps other departments here at 470. So we expect to
Sort of like a floater. to
drive
go-
a floater, but she's gonna learn a little bit about government, but she's also gonna go overseas and help. She's a very bright young lady.
Solid what?
Okay, number 27.
The Commissioner's Office is requesting the board approve hiring McCullough LaForce to the position of summer help number 0101 at a rate of $8.20 per hour to be effective May 1st, 2014 through September 30th, 2014, or the start of the school year, whichever comes first, for 21 weeks, 840 hours.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sweetie?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye, motion stands approved. And, Dave, do you want to speak
Sure.
about this a little bit?
Sure. This is, we got a proposal a while back from Clemens Nelson, in the aftermath of the incident transit department. We thought it'd be good to have an outside set of eyes, take a look at the operation. We actually talked to 3 organizations. We got quotes from 2 of them. We got this quote from Clemens Nelson, not to exceed $7,000. We also got a quote from RLS and Associates, and they're a firm out of Dayton, and they specialize in transit. Their quote, to probably do a much more in-depth examination, was over $30,000. So we thought initially, given our experience with Clemens Nelson, working with the engineer, and the fact that some of the principals are local here in the county, and we'd probably be paying less for travel back and forth, which is always part of these, that this would be a cost-effective way to have an outside set of eyes take a look at the operation. Laura reviewed the contract. She went back and forth with them. There were a couple things. Yeah, there are a couple things that, there's an auto renew in here that she's not real fond of, but it doesn't really affect this particular thing. There's some some indemnification that they weren't prepared to provide, but again, given the nature of this consulting agreement, it doesn't really apply. So she's comfortable with this.
And it's a not to exceed.
Not to exceed
That's
$7,000.
important, not to exceed.
The auto renew component is, if you give them 30 days notice.
Well, in the auto renew in this case, I mean,
Yeah.
usually this agreement would normally include a retainer that would be an
Right.
ongoing monthly thing, but since
Which is
the,
being paid next
since
month.
the engineer's paying that, I mean, that's the only really part of the auto renewal where you'd say, okay, you're gonna keep paying that, but since that's not part of this, it really doesn't apply
It
to us.
doesn't apply.
Just for the record, the RLS group, they do some work for us as part of their
ODOT contract.
ODOT contract where they come in and.
So we are gonna be getting help for them.
Right, we get that, you know, they don't charge us for that, right? That comes
They
with
get a
their
couple,
circuit
yeah,
rider.
a couple days a month. They were actually in last week. There was the ODOT invoice that needed to be out by the end of this month, so we get our reimbursement. Julie Schaefer from RLS was in there, worked with Jack Jackson and Kate Weibrecht, and they got that all submitted, so we're pretty much up to snuff on paperwork at this point, but they'll be coming in, this is part of the ODOT contract, a couple days here and there, and that'll be paid for by ODOT, won't be paid for by us.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Sounds good.
All right, if we could go ahead and read number 28.
The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute a management consultant agreement with Columbus Nelson and Associates Incorporated to provide management and/or fiscal consulting services in labor, employment, and other areas as requested for a study of the Transportation Department for the period of 1 year in an amount not to exceed $7,000.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Speedy?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye. Motion stands approved. Yes, ma'am?
Yes, good morning, Commissioner Spindler. Mary Briggs. On the occasion of Earth Day 2014, I just wanted to say something to the commissioners. What an outstanding job I believe the Geauga County Health District does in protecting the environment. And Sheriff's Department over the years having their people help clean up the roads. Your efforts, and in particular, I had the pleasure of serving with Commissioner Samiti on the Chagrin River Partners, which has done an extraordinary job protecting the environment in Geauga County. And she is a charter member. We started in 1996.
Oh, my God.
And
Are you that old?
Earth Day and Geauga Trumbull Solid Waste and their efforts in cleaning up. And I appreciate your time this morning. I just wanted to stand up and say that.
All right, well, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, number 29, it's the Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board to cancel session for Tuesday, May 6, 2014.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Speedy?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye, motion approved. Just before we finish up here, I just want to just try to read a letter here of something I put together, something that's just really been concerning me for the last couple of weeks, and just want to try to be able to bring this to the surface here as far as I think that there's a need and a want that we need to address this issue, especially as close as we are to an election time. And I think that the voters of this county and just the residents alone need to be made aware of some of the things that happen in this county and where I personally stand as a commissioner, along with having responsibility of overseeing dollars and cents. It says here, to all parties, this letter is actually addressed to the Geauga County Mental Health Board and also to Jim Adams and all that are concerned, and I think we all, as county residents, need to be concerned. It says, to all parties, it was brought to my attention at the beginning of April 2014 that pay raises had been approved by the Board of Mental Health in the March meeting minutes if funds were available for the Director Jim Adams in the amount of up to 15%. This would raise his current pay rate from $73.91 an hour for a salary of $153,732.80 to $85 an hour, which would bring his total salary up to $176,792.72.
We started at 118 at 111,
Correct.
right?
In reviewing the past salary changes, I learned that in 2013, Jim Adams received 5 pay raises in 2013. In the same year, in reviewing the past salary changes, I learned that on February 3rd, he received a 1%. On March 17, he received a 4.55%. On April 28th, he received a 10%. And on August 1st, 3%. And on December 8th, a 15% raise. The rate of pay started at $111,741 per year, with an increase of $41,993 in 2013. Increase subsequent to his 5 pay raises put his salary of pay at $153,734. Now, an additional 15% raise that was approved, if funds are available, would raise Jim Adams' salary up to an additional $23,060, putting his final salary at $176,794. In addition to the excessive pay increases that Mr. Adams received, he found it necessary in 2013, after the mental health levy failed in 2012, and cuts needed to be made. He reduced programs, but gave his staff 2 pay raises in 13. Each of his staff raises received. One received 20.69%, one received 21.31%, one received 25.94%, one of them received 20.94%. This was combined between the 2 raises that he authorized, and I have the forms here that have his signatures on them, in 2013. When most of our county employees, including our hiring authority, the sheriff's hiring authority, everybody across the board received almost 3%. Total. It is very difficult to understand that after all the fight that I put up to pursue an action plan to combat the heroin epidemic and all the sacrifices that all the departments that have made to unselfishly take away from themselves to give back and serve the great people of this county during such a crisis, that you, Mr. Adams, you, the Board of Mental Health, would go to this extreme to selfishly and unjustifiably give out pay raises as if this is the NFL looking to win a ring in a Super Bowl. I am appalled, disgusted, and furious with this action, especially given that a levy failed in 2012 and now on the ballot again. I was elected to oversee the best interests of the people of Geauga County, and with the responsibility and honor, I knew that there were days that would come that would require me to make a stand and to take a stand and position for the betterment of this county and the people that I serve. I ask my fellow commissioners and residents of Geauga County to stand behind me in support of demanding Mr. Jim Adams, along with the members of the Mental Health Board who unanimously voted for the pay increase, to step down and resign your positions immediately so that we can put a level of common sense and fiscal responsibility and integrity back into this department. This is a major issue. This is absolutely irresponsible spending. It's abuse of tax dollars, and it's basically taking advantage of Geauga County residents and taking advantage of the public officials of this county, and I'm not going to stand for it. And I would ask my 2 commissioners to please stand behind me on this, to put this effort forward. The voters need to be aware of this. The residents need to be aware of this. It's absolutely ludicrous. It's absolutely irresponsible and ridiculous. Thank you.
As you may know, you got all the paperwork and so on, that think we all became aware of this at the end of
We just became.
end of March, April 1st, something like that. And it was brought up with an action that he wanted supplemental appropriations for his department because he didn't have enough
I don't
money.
think-
Didn't have enough money to run his department.
That's
So he
incredible.
sent a query for us to review and provide him with additional monies. At that time, I sent him a letter, I think it was dated April 3rd, I think, asking him if he would appear here in our chambers to explain why he needed the extra money, to which I believe the reply was vague, but it would be in the future. He had
Well,
he was out of town, he had something to do.
The
what
issue
happened.
is there was a supplemental appropriation request made to this office because you're the budgeting authority. He
Right.
can't change his appropriation unless you folks agree to it in the financials. So I advised him, I stopped and saw him just to say, you know, the commissioners are gonna want you to come and discuss the rationale behind these salary increases before they'll approve this. Now, there's enough money in that account to carry him through most of this year with the current appropriation. But if these raises are in effect, or the current level of compensation is in effect for the whole year, there's not enough money in that salary account to cover that.
Yeah, it's looking like it's a 45% increase in pay. And also, the way I understood it, he even gets PERS pickup.
Right, he gets the pickup.
Which is really beyond.
And he's also retired.
PER's
Oh,
pickup
that
is,
too?
Yes.
the PER's pickup is when
Retired and retired.
10%, the employee
Right.
normally kicks in, is kicked in by the.
You know,
Can we
this
file charges
county,
against this man?
in 2007 and 8, our employees got no increases. They have gone with very little. They have hung with us. They have stayed within 85% of their budget. For something like this to occur at this time, I've got to agree with my colleagues.
Under the Ohio Revised Code, there is a section under the
I'm stunned.
340.02,
Stunned.
section G, paragraph 3, that it basically states that any member of the board may be removed from office by appointing authority, which in this situation, we hire a percentage of those people, and we appoint a percentage of those people. They work with no pay. However, we hire a percentage of those, and I believe it's
The board you're
60%.
talking about.
Yes,
Yeah.
60%, Dave, correct me if I'm wrong?
I think, yeah, the current.
We get
The
3.
current, if the board was fully staffed, it was reduced to 14 members from
14 people.
18. And under ORC, the commissioners, but it's generally upon the recommendation of mental health,
Well, it's their
appoints
board.
8 of the 14.
Oh.
The other 6 are appointed by the State Board of Mental Health.
Okay.
So,
Basically, it states that by the appointed authority for neglect of duty, misconduct, or malfeasance in office, and shall be removed by the appointed authority if the member is barred from this section from serving as a board member. The member shall be informed in writing the charges and afforded an opportunity for a hearing. Upon the absence of a member within 1 year from either 4 board meetings or from 2 board meetings without prior notice, the board shall notify the appointing authority, which may vacate the appointment and appoint another person to complete the member's term. So my position is this: if they're not going to step down voluntarily, then I'm going to address it with our prosecutor regardless, because at this point in time, I feel that this is neglect of duty, when we have a duty to our taxpayers and to the residents of this county to have responsible spending. And when you have a levy that fails, and you turn around and increase, this kind of ridiculousness of cost with the heroin epidemic that we have in our town, that this division has a lot to do with a lot of the different agencies that do this, that we are trying to chop at every little bit that we can to make this county safer and give support to the people that need to. And this county, or this agency is going to choose to basically dig into the cookie jar. Not going to be under my watch, and I'm not going to put up with it. So, Mr. Adams, board, make the right decision and resign immediately. Thank you. I'm going to address the following acknowledgments for the meetings here. Commissioners will hold a regular session on 4/24, which is this Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Board of Revisions at the Auditor's Office on the 28th has been canceled. The Commissioners will hold a regular session on the 29th. The 5/6 meeting is canceled based on our past motion. On 5/7, we have an NOC COG meeting, 1:30 p.m. here in building number 8. The Commissioners will hold a regular session on the 8th at 10:05 for the proposal insurance of Colorado Educational Cultural Facilities Authority of a variable rate demand revenue tax exempt loan, National Jewish Federation Bond Program, Series I-2. On the 8th of Thursday, we've got a Community Improvement Corporation, CIC, 44th Annual Salute to Business and Industry, 5:30 at the St. Denis Party Center. On the 9th, there is a NOACA policy at 9:30 a.m., planning and programming at 11 o'clock in Cleveland. On the 12th, we've got a Board of Revision at 9 a.m. Over at the Auditor's Office. On the 13th, the Commissioners will hold a regular session. And then on Tuesday, the 13th, the Planning Commission meeting is still on for 7 p.m. at the building across the street at 1C, 470 Street in Chardon. With that, I would like to just say if we could put a letter together. I'll be, the first signature on it. If the other, commissioners would like to sign it to basically address our concerns and my request to mental health. And we'll go from there. We'll keep you updated on Thursday with what we hear and where we can move forward on this.
Regarding Thursday night meeting?
Yes, sir.
We don't have any presentations
Okay.
submitted. So for a Thursday night meeting, there's just gonna be general housekeeping. If
Okay.
you're gonna go ahead with
Okay.
that.
Sounds good. With that, if we could have a motion to, if there's no other questions,
She moves, I second.
we're over. Thank you.
Thank you, Ralph.
Yeah, thank you, Walt.
Can I get a copy of the letter that?
Yeah, I'm gonna